Dr. Nowhere's Office of Wonders presents the Oddity Compendium, a beginner's anomaly education program. Welcome to the Oddity Compendium. Today, we will be learning about many wonderful and strange oddities that exist inside of, outside of, and around your universe. These strange phenomena can range anywhere from life forms, products, and organizations to even events and anomalous time periods. Important. The following information has been acquired from realities that may be separate from the one you are currently residing in. Please be aware that knowledge or comprehension of incompatible information may result in a conscious reality fracture. Fleshheads or mattress folk are a species of parasitic subhuman that highly resemble bedding mattresses. The body of a dormant fleshhead appears identical to a standard mattress. However, slicing the thin sheet-like skin reveals many soft organs, limb-like appendages, and a humanoid head which hides beneath the skin. They were first discovered in the late 1960s when a mattress company was surveying excess storage. Upon finding many seemingly pristine mattresses that had not been sold, they gave them away to thrift shops and people in need. The people who received the mattress folk initially had no issues with faux beds. It wasn't until the air began to warm up that these beds awoke from their uneventful hibernations. The first reported victim was 19-year-old Alice Digere. She had been sleeping on a flesh bed for roughly 6 months before her sudden disappearance. After noticing the stench of sulfur and rot originating from her bed, her family called authorities, and the inside of the mattress revealed a feasting parasite, several hundred human bones, and a half-digested Alice. The method in which mattress folk sustain themselves is by waiting for the body heat of a host to wake them from their dormant state. Kind of like an egg, but not nearly as tasty. After they awake, they slowly unfold themselves from their soft mattress-like bodies. This process is very gradual and happens underneath its body or on its side so as not to be detected. After roughly a month of this process and on a night 17 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, its head and arms fully emerge and pull the sleeping host into its body, where prey is slowly digested. Not much is known about how these sleeping beauties came about, but it is theorized that since they are subhuman, they were once a branch of Homo sapiens that merged with a mycelial network many years ago. Autopsies of fleshheads' digestive systems have revealed DNA samples from thousands of different people in each instance, some even tracing to people born during the 1600s. Another odd thing to note is that the mattress folk themselves contain DNA belonging to humans as well. One instance shared DNA in a blood type with Napoleon Bonaparte, leader of the French Republic during the time that the mattress folk were assumed to have come into existence. All in all, it might be a good idea to throw out that mattress that feels just a bit too warm lately. You might be sharing it with something unwanted. Good night, sleep tight, and don't let the bed light. The headless macrocosm is a sub-reality nearly identical to Earth save for the fact instead of humans, tail-headless corpses remain in their stead. These corpses, though technically dead, do weakly breathe through the holes in their necks. Their hearts have also been observed to begin convulsing at seemingly random intervals. These beings are identical in appearance to one another aside from physical dimensions, which can vary severely between each corpse. The headless sub-people dwelling in this pocket reality have been observed changing their behavior when humans have physically interacted with them, and apparently gain a level of awareness and vitality when such events occur. There are approximately 2,393 living humans residing in this reality, all from parallel Earth. Every single resident recounts waking up in the headless macrocosm after falling asleep under strange circumstances back in their home realities. No one back in their own parallel homes remembers their faces or identities, which leads to the belief that this place could be a form of anti-reality. A waste compartment of the universe used for aspects of reality that are useless or harmful to existential fabric. The humans that live in the headless macrocosm are assumed to be taking shelter in abandoned structures and banding together to search for plant-based food during the warmer times. Fun fact. Humans have coined multiple terms and nicknames for these headless corpses, such as stumpies, cranes, and ichabodies. Despite this sub-reality being detached from main reality, an incident took place which created a temporary tier between the two. A man residing in the headless macrocosm was walking through a field with a small house in the center. Upon reaching the house, the man unintentionally brushed up against one of the breathing bodies. This body, just before motionless aside from the labored convulsions, sprang to life and removed the head of the man. It then proceeded to attach the severed head to the stump of its own neck. The man's name was Michael Hedford. After the corpse had placed Michael's head where its own should be, an event occurred back on Earth in the year 2061 that resulted in governmental intervention. A family's call to the authorities described an impossibly tall naked figure appearing in their backyard. The presence of this oddity was highly distressing to the family, and they remained inside their home until the situation was resolved. The following photograph depicts this figure they spoke of. Michael Tedford's rotting head is affixed atop its frail neck. Shortly after the photo was taken, what was left of Tedford's existence was removed from the premises and taken to an upscale anomaly testing site. Apparently, this corpse was attempting to quite literally become Tedford by leeching off of his existence. These breathing bodies appear to be in a constant state of yearning to reconnect with the roots of reality again, as they have been taken a hold of by a dangerous and contagious disease. This disease appears to be non-existence itself. It can affect anyone on Earth at any time, and once it takes hold, the headless macrocosm deems you valid for residence within its endless meadows, filled with fellow patients. But don't worry, it's a rare diagnosis. Another fun fact. Occasionally, crude man-made structures will form seemingly out of nowhere in order to correspond with the structures on parallel Earth. As mentioned earlier, the headless macrocosm itself functions like a digestive tract of the universe, and these structures may be antibodies attempting to fight off the virus of non-existence. Now then, check your head. Screwed on tight. Great, because you might want to hang on tight to it for this next one. The obelisks of enlightenment are a collective of monolithic beings that are currently residing in different remote locations across the world. Also known as the Fathers of True North, they appear in groups of 1 to 8 and stand anywhere from 10 to 150 feet tall. Each obelisk is levitated just barely above the ground and facing geodetic north. Though most of them reside in remote fields and deserts, This is Philbus. It is not known where Philbus comes from or why he is here, but there have been a number of people who, after consuming media depicting Philbus, have felt the overwhelming compulsion to practice Philbism. Philbism is a political and somewhat religious ideology which centers around a belief that building/consuming chairs and other wooden furniture is honoring Philbus' great sacrifice. It is not clear what this sacrifice is or what it refers to. Attributes and practices of Philbism include learning to build chairs, learning to properly digest chairs, promoting/discussing chair consumption on obscure internet forums, praising the fictional political candidate known as Philbus, who is said to advocate for making furniture consumption a socially accepted and widespread practice. There are so many wonderful things about Philbism. Consume the body of Philbus and become one with many others today. It's a great decision. Just eat your chair to get started. Any mention of Philbism and elaboration on the subject will eventually result in it